So a person perhaps who can put more color into that is with us. Mr. Adi Godrej, President CII, joins us to take us through the industry's views of all that has happened yesterday and before. As well, we are joined by Sandeep Parekh, the founder of FinSec Law Advisors, to give us a little more color on the company's bill itself. Mr. Godrej, Sandeep, morning and good to have you all on the show. Mr. Godrej, how would you look at the slew of announcements? It is not yet law, yesterday's announcements, but would you go with the feeling that much of it will come into law? What's the gut feeling you're getting?
Well, first of all, I think it's very good that the government has taken the various decisions yesterday. I was very impressed with the fact that the cabinet passed a lot of issues yesterday. Some of them, of course, only need governmental approval. Some will need parliamentary approval. And I do hope they go through because they are relatively non-controversial issues. They will be very good for the economy. For example, FDI limit increase in insurance and in pension funds, I think will be very good for the economy. So I do hope Parliament passes them.
All right, there seems to be some freak trade in the market, so that's perhaps the reason why you're seeing the big falls in individual stocks and on the index itself. Now the Sensex as well is down almost about 300 points. The Nifty has lost about 160 points or so, and there are many stocks, etc., that are, the rates are not updating from the NSE, so that's the latest alert that we're getting at this point in time. So don't go by this rate that you're seeing on the screen of 56.25, and big gashes on names like Sesa Goa, SBI, Axis Bank, Cipla, etc. So some freak trade is going on at this point in time, but the rates are currently not updating. Actually, now it's even a 1.5% cut on the Sensex.
Yeah. That's minus 250 or 260 on the Sensex. Even that looks a little scary. I mean, and on the Nifty, it's absolutely crazy. The State Bank share down 14%, Axis down 11.5%. This is quite clearly something not correct at all.
Yeah,
so
it seems like the trades on NSE are frozen because of some sort of a technical glitch, and that's perhaps the reason why you're not seeing the exchanges have made a comment. We'll try and actually get you more details from the exchanges itself, from NSE itself, but now they're trying to verify an error. There is a technical glitch at this point in time, and that's the reason why the cash rates are currently frozen on the NSE, and that's perhaps why you're seeing a deep cash in both. The Sensex, it still looks believable, but the Nifty is down, what, about 3% or so right now, and it's completely frozen, so it's down about 160 points. It's not moving from there, and there is some amount of technical glitch that we are seeing at this point in time.
Right. We go back to our guests with the caution that the Nifty certainly is indicating some kind of a problem. The Sensex also went to a minus 280, now minus 140, all in a matter of 2-3 minutes. So beware, is this a freak trade on the Sensex? Why is that index moving so violently? Now it is down to minus 125. So just watch out even for what's happening on the Sensex. Mr. Godrej, when do you think investments will chug on? We have seen a lot of announcements, but is it enough for industry to start putting in money, especially in the key sectors?
Well, I think the perception has certainly improved tremendously, partly because of the reforms announced in the middle of September and yesterday. But I think a major reason for the perception having improved is also the fact that the GAR implementation is likely to be postponed. The GAR rules are likely to be amended very considerably, and even the retrospective amendments passed in the budget are likely to be reviewed. I think all of that will help improve the perception both outside the country and within the country, and I think investments will certainly start flowing in.
Sandeep Parekh is also with us. Sandeep, come in on this conversation. What do you think the impact will be of the company's bill going through?
So, I mean, the previous bill, the previous act we have is 1956, so 56 years onwards. We've got a fairly dated law in place. I think it's been high time. This is probably the 5th attempt at passing the bill, and I hope that this time is more successful. But having said that, I think that the bill is a tremendous way forward. A couple of headline grabbing stuff about the bill are overrated clearly, things like class action lawsuits, for instance, because you already have class action lawsuits. And the second hype thing is director liability, because the Companies Act protects independent directors only from acts under the Companies Act rather than from labor law of some inspector sending a notice or a 138 bounce check notice which is sent. So directors are not going to feel any safer after the act, and clearly there are lots of, I'm only mentioning the negatives, there are kind of lots of small positive things which will have a deep and pervasive positive effect. Just to name one thing, for instance, e-voting by shareholders, I think it can truly democratize the corporate world.
Mr. Godrej, good morning. Welcome to the show. In your mind, how much time do you think will pass before these bills become a reality? Do you think opposition from either the allies or from the BJP will sort of hinder the process, or is the government in too strong a momentum for any of this to be an obstruction?
This is very difficult to predict. The political process is always difficult to be sure about, but I do hope there is no resistance from the opposition to some of these bills. I think they are very mistaken in their view about opposing such bills, including FDI in retail, which of course does not need parliamentary approval. And it reminds me of the old days when the Luddites opposed the Industrial Revolution. Even in India, if you go back a few years, there were many who opposed computerization in banks in India. Productivity is the reason why an economy grows, and any move to improve productivity, whether through investment or improved techniques or improved management, should be welcomed. And I'm very surprised that some of these opposition parties are opposing some of these moves. I do hope better sense will prevail.
All right, Mr. Godrej, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us. Sandeep, we'll keep you a bit for some of the provisions of the company's law itself. But for the moment, the index merits our watch. Look at the way the Sensex has moved. It's a deep gap.